Gaming has changed. Or maybe gaming never changes. I'm not sure which one it is, but either way I can't stop thinking about Ron Perlman. It's no longer about mascots, blast processing, or sometimes even the games themselves. It's an endless struggle, with third-party developers, proxy games, fought by tired first-person shooters, and mobile apps dealing with birds. Pay-to-win gamers fire DLC weapons and use DLC gear. When the marketplace is completely under control, gaming becomes routine.
That's a good one.
That hurt my hand.
But you'll be broadcasting your position to the whole base. If you're gonna use it, be ready.
Hello?
Good afternoon, Snake. We have a task for you.
I'm sorry, you must have me confused. Just because I hit my eye on a chair a week ago doesn't mean I'm the protagonist of your game series.
Snake, this is your CO, Prickly Squid. Remember from the 1970s?
No, because I'm not Snake. What do you call it, the plumbing service each time you need a princess being saved too?
Snake, the jokes end here.
I don't think the jokes ever really began here.
We need you to review some information that's been thrown on my desk. It's easy work, Snake.
Okay, I'll bite. What is it?
Right next to you.
You want me to watch all the Bond films?
No, you're left!
Oh. New Metal Gear! Metal Gear Solid. Now, doing a retrospective on the Metal Gear series at this point is just, pointless. There's a lot of great retrospectives out there already because the game is so well received. It's got an amazing storyline and it's a pioneer for the postmodern movement in video games. If you've played Metal Gear, then you remember such things as the first dock in Solid 1, escaping the ship in the Return of Liquid in Solid 2, the climactic, near-meditative battle with the end in Metal Gear Solid 3, and the final battle with Ocelot and Liquid in Solid 4. It's a memorable series, and its praises are well-deserved and simply need not to be said again in retrospect. Luckily, there's a new game, so I won't be beating any dead horses today. But how has it fared, Gaming has seen giants fall before. I mean, look at God of War. I wouldn't trust this guy with bagging my groceries nowadays. How's he supposed to take on Titans? Goddamn Chinamen are doing a better job. So has Hideo Kojima created another masterpiece? Or is this like when Martin Scorsese directed Shark Tale? Wait, Martin Scorsese? Holy shit, what? Let's find out. The first basics that need to be there for the game to be an enjoyable experience are how the game plays, and Ground Zeroes plays, well, really well. It doesn't have tank controls like the earlier Metal Gear Solid games, and more so as an updated version of the fourth one. It's called the Fox Engine, and it's incredibly smooth and really intuitive in learning how to play. The Fox Engine works extremely well and isn't very jerky. When going next to a piece of cover, some games like to give you a swift dosage of what I call the magnet effect, in which, rather than carefully moving towards it, your walk turns into a dive to the sandbags in front of you, regardless if that's even what you wanted. Not here. Big Boss is gentle. He cares for you all.
He gonna take you out to dinner. I'm gonna buy you a bottle of that vintage Win Savignac Blanc or some shit. I don't drink wine. And then he's gonna take you home, lay you out, and baby, he's gonna use you for cover. And being a stealth game, you're gonna need that cover. The guards are pretty smart. I mean, most of them. In this small starting area, there's this one guy with a light who's checking out what's directly in front of him. There's 3 other directions he could be killed from, but nope, he's the kind of guy when you're playing a first-person shooter, he's like, yeah, I'm watching my 12. Like, fuck you. Really? It provides a pretty decent place to learn the main controls, though. How CQC works and other basic movements that are just necessary. But there's still some stuff that I would have liked to have been polished out in terms of controls in some way or another. For instance, I always ended up throwing guards everywhere for a little bit until I realized I needed to hit the circle button in order to put the victim down. Maybe I'm an idiot. After I figured this out, I still prefer to throw the guards everywhere. It's extremely fun. You're free now! No, it would have been nice to throw in, though. Some bosses. I mean, a boss other than you.
If you're going to eliminate him, use a gun.
I'll try not to give away the 2 spoilers that this game can possibly provide. I'm not shitting you. There's like 2 things that happen within the story. One thing that I loved about the Metal Gear games, especially the big boss games, was that the bosses were so imaginative, so out there. They're fantastic in every sense of the word. I mentioned it earlier, but the final fight with the end in Metal Gear Solid 3 is so awesome! And Ground Zeroes really could have benefited from an open world boss fight like this. Really, having to fight a boss while keeping yourself concealed would have been amazing and fun, and I would have loved to have seen it! Unfortunately, the only boss-type enemies that you'll see in this game are 2 targets you must take out in one of the side missions. And they're about as strong as, well, a normal enemy. But then again, this is only a prologue. Virtuous Mission in Metal Gear Solid 3 didn't have a traditional boss, but the Tanker chapter in Metal Gear Solid 2 did. I wasn't exactly let down by the lack of a boss, but I was really hoping to see whatever Hideo Kojima was cooking up in his mad lab of video gamery. What he has cooked up is a really neat game as per usual. The gameplay has been changed to suit a more continuous style of gameplay. The older Metal Gear games were much more episodic with their guard placements and sneaking areas. There is very little in terms of danger between guards. In Ground Zeroes, this whole element becomes more continuous due to the open world. You could be sneaking by 2 guards when a car suddenly rolls up and you need to react. Guards are quick to be alerted by your presence as usual. They also have a realistic sense of where people are. They might have seen you sneak by just an inch, or maybe they saw your shadow. Either way, it won't be enough to convince them, I am grass now. But they'll still debate whether they want to check it out further. Sometimes guards just don't give a shit. Sometimes they'll shine a flashlight, and sometimes they'll call for help because they heard a noise and might see something in the distance. The guards overall are pretty great. They act just like normal people. Sometimes they get tired, sometimes they'll sneeze and cough from being in the rain too much, and sometimes they come down with bullet to the headosis. It's smart, it's realistic, and I love it.
Snake.
It's Sam.
Snake, we need you to go over the events that take place as well within the game. It's essential to the script that you talk about the story in some sense.
Got it. I say the Ground Zeroes is a prologue, because it is. It's the prologue to the new Metal Gear Solid game, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, which is coming out sometime later on in the future. I have read a book once, so it occurred to me that prologues are, well, much shorter than the actual book. From a story sense, Ground Zeroes is a sliver for what Metal Gear franchises have established story-wise. Metal Gear is known for its story. How's there supposed to be a Metal Gear without much story? They played us like a damn fiddle! Prologue or not, I need a story. I want my video game to be a movie. I want to take the DVD, want to put it in my Nintendo, I want to turn on Lord of the Rings. Matthew Broderick in there. But you see, that's how over-predicting works. I was afraid of the whole, this game is 10 minutes long, but I soon found out it's not really. It's like 20 minutes long. Well, it's actually about an hour long for the main story, but the game has a ton to it. There's collectibles, bonus levels, side missions, all these things and all these tasks to accomplish within the game. Now, while I was playing, all I could think about was the newer Hitman game that just came out, titled Absolution. I love Hitman. We go a ways back, but in the newest installation, it was lacking because it was very linear compared to my favorite entry in the series, Hitman Blood Money. Now, the original Metal Gear Solid games have some variation in the way you do things, but all in all, it's a pretty linear game. Ground Zeroes isn't. There's tons of routes one can take when operating around the fleshed out prison camp GZ takes in. After playing through multiple side missions, I was ready to go back to the base camp and rescue a hostage without any hiccups at all. I was crawling through sewers and weaving around guards like a rat in a crazy cat lady's kitchen. And you know what I did when I beat the level? I did it again, except this time I set a new goal for myself. No guns, no tranks or CQC. And I immediately was set with a new challenge. And I had a blast trying to make my pacifistic ghost strategy work, and that's what gave me another 2 hours into the game, and it really made me realize that what makes some games fun is exploring their boundaries. Another game that's like this is Skyrim, which a good amount of people in the gaming community adore. The main quest for a complete game is actually pretty quick in relativity, but what surrounds the game is what's loved. And that's really how I found out how to enjoy Ground Zeroes to its greatest potential. Enjoying a good video game is a two-way street. A game needs to generally be good or fun in some shape or form, whether that be through art style, gameplay, or even the dreaded nostalgia. But on the other side of the road, a game has to be defined as a canvas for enjoyment. The enjoyment in a game is also rooted in the player's ability to enjoy and actually experience the free environment around them. Even without that, Ground Zeroes acted as a great appetizer for the Fox engine and everything that's going to be coming out of Metal Gear Solid as a whole, which I can't wait for. The only problem is Hideo Kojima is a teasing but does that justify a $30 price tag? And I mean, it's really up to the buyer. It was worth it for me because I love Metal Gear.
The lack of a story and bosses really hinder how much the game's worth was to me, and it might even be less to the average consumer. Unless you're a huge Metal Gear fan or someone who just loves a good stealth game and would experiment with every possibility, then I can't recommend spending $30 on it. I just hope this video helped make a better decision in whether or not you should buy this prologue. And I guess it's time to sign out of my mission.
Alright, Squid, I'm done. I reviewed the game.
Great work, Snake.
It's Sam!
We may need you again in the future, so when that does happen, we'll talk again.
Okay.
Oh, and, nice eye patch.
Hey there everyone, thanks for watching. I just want to give a huge shout out to my friend Terry over at Tentacle Touchy. This review would not have happened without him, and I was super happy to have him alongside as a cameo. You should go check out his stuff, and once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.